welcome to all of you on this historic occasion today, which is the listing of the first residential mortgage-backed security. Before we begin the ceremony, I will request everyone to please stand in attention for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
As Henry Ford said, coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, working together is success. So this event which you are going to witness today is a coming together of a lot of institutions. It's a joyous and momentous occasion for all of us today, as we gather to celebrate a major milestone, which is the listing of the first RMBS security structured by RMBS Development Company Limited, a company which is promoted by National Housing Bank, Life Insurance Corporation of India, and other leading banks and housing finance companies. Now, before we proceed, we wish to acknowledge the presence of very special guests with us this morning. So I will now request Shri Sanjay Shukla, Managing Director, National Housing Bank, to please come on stage to welcome our guests. We are privileged to have with us today as chief guest of the occasion, Shri M. Nagaraju, IAS Secretary, Department of Financial Services, Ministry of Finance, Government of India, who in spite of his busy schedule at Delhi, agreed to be present with us to celebrate this significant occasion. He has been actively tracking the progress of RDCL and has inspired us to ensure the timely delivery of the RMBS product. Thank you, sir. We request you to please join us on stage. We would like to welcome you with shawl and bouquet. Next, we were delighted to have with us today Shri V. Sridhar, Chairman of the Board of RDCL, and who was also the ex-Chairman of National Housing Bank. We welcome you, sir. Please join us on stage. Next, we would like to welcome Shri Pankaj Sharma, Joint Secretary, DFS. We request you to join on stage, sir. Next, we would also like to welcome Shri Ashish Kumar Chauhan, MD and CEO of National Stock Exchange. Just a brief background for the audience about RDCL. It is a middle layer NBFC regulated by RBI. It's a market intermediary focusing on creating a deep and vibrant market for residential mortgage-backed securitization in India. It is backed by a consortium of India's leading public and private financial sector institutions like National Housing Bank, Life Insurance Corporation of India, and 9 other financial institutions. Ladies and gentlemen, lighting a lamp represents the dispelling of darkness and the acquisition of knowledge. And just as a lamp illuminates its surroundings, the light of knowledge eradicates ignorance, paving the way for wisdom and enlightenment. Now I'll invite the following dignitaries for the lighting of the lamp. Shri M. Nagaraju, Shri V. Sridhar, and Shri Ashish Kumar Chauhan, and Shri Pankaj Sharma. And Shri Sanjay Shukla sir will be joining them.
वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिः समप्रभ
वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिः समप्रभ
निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा
निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा
Now it gives me immense pleasure to invite the driving force behind the listing today, Shri Sanjay Shukla, Managing Director, National Housing Bank, to give his welcome address. I request you all to please welcome him with a round of applause.
Namaskar, good morning. Respected Secretary DFS and other distinguished guests. At the outset, I would like to thank all the distinguished guests for accepting our invitation and gracing the occasion with their presence for the listing of first RMBS security structured by RDCL. So, I recall 6 months back, I was giving my first presentation to Secretary Sir. First thing he asked, how soon can you do this? So, sir, we took close to 6 months and finally the first product is here, and I can assure you many more such issues will come, and this will also open up a new avenue for resource raising for mortgage companies and the banks also. And we are also grateful to Secretary DFS for accepting our invitation. And in fact, despite his busy schedule, he said, no, I'll come in person for the listing. So just to give you a perspective and the background, RBI had constituted a committee on development of housing finance securitization market in the year 2019. The committee recognized the need of a SPV for a better management of the security market. The committee recommended setting up an organization or SPV under the leadership of NHB to enable the market making and facilitate the growth of securitization market. And we took the initiative, and along with other shareholder and LIC, we had set up this company with the capital of 500 crore. And NHB in the past had also set up Sarsai Credit Guarantee Fund Trust for Low Income Group, India Mortgage Guarantee Company, which continues to play a critical role for the development of housing finance market in the country. And with setting up RMBS for the development of securitized backed market, the housing finance growth will receive further boost. Globally, there are various agencies, central agencies for securitization like Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac in US, Canada Mortgage Corporation, Chagamas in Malaysia. But in our country, there was no such central agency. And I hope that RMBS will also fill this gap, and we will witness many more such transactions. Earlier, the mortgage securitization was typically a bilateral transaction between the bank and the issuer. But now opening up this will also ensure the right price discovery also for the transaction. And the first transaction which we have picked up also is a very attractive rate, and I'm sure with the passage of time we will also refine the product and we will get a better pricing. We thank SEBI for their support and NSE for setting up PTC transaction on EBP platform. I would also like to thank RBI and IRDA for their support, which was very critical for bringing out this product. NHP, the housing finance sector, once again owe gratitude to Secretary Sir, who has consented to grace the occasion and ring the bell for listing the first RMBS security structured by RSCL. His support and guidance to the sector will go a long way in development of housing finance securitization market. I once again thank you all for being present here for this occasion. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for setting the tone for the occasion. I now invite the chief guest of the occasion, Shri M. Nagaraju, IAS Secretary, Department of Financial Services, Ministry of Finance, Government of India, to share his thoughts on this historic occasion. I request you all to please welcome him with a round of applause.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Ashish Kumar Chauhan, MD NSE, Mr. Sanjay Shukla, CMD National Housing Bank, Mr. Sridhar, Chairman RMBS, and MD CEOs of all the PSB banks, Chief Executive, IBA, and all friends. I'm actually truly delighted to be present along with all of you for the first listing of residential mortgage-based securitization structured by RMBS Development Company Limited. I hope this will be the beginning and also an important milestone for the housing finance sector in the country. You know, home ownership is an important aspiration for all common people, including all of us. Apart from acting as a shelter, it also has economic value that gives financial strength to an individual and her family. Housing market is largely driven by the housing finance market. The housing finance markets have played an important role globally in the economic development through the extensive forward and backward linkages impacting different industries, including infrastructure. The housing finance sector has enormous development impact, both in terms of providing social stability as well as its contribution to economic development at large. The size of investment in housing in relation to GDP is an important factor for growth of broader economy. The ratio of housing finance to GDP increased from about 4% at the end of financial year 14-15 to about 11.20 at the end of last year, 23-24, which means it has more than doubled in the last 10 years. In fact, I was very impressed with the number for the country as a whole. Government also has been encouraging the housing loan market. First, we established SERSAI for registration of secured interest and mortgages, implementation of RERA at the center as well as the states, thrust on affordable housing, infrastructure status for affordable housing, credit guarantee trust fund for low-income housing, credit-linked subsidy scheme under PMAY for several segments. These are all contributed to the doubling of housing finance in the country during the last 10 years. Now, the role of securitization in accelerating in the housing finance sector can be very important, and which quickens the integration of the housing finance system with the broader financial system. In well-functioning housing finance markets in developed economies, there are significant linkage of the housing finance sector with the financial and capital markets. Growth of securitization and secondary mortgage markets have been responsible for the growth of housing and economies. When there is an integration between the housing finance market and the capital market, cost of funds for the lender will be cheaper and efficient, which in turn will make the housing loans rates cheaper. This will make the EMIs much more affordable, and another factor for affordability will be to on long-term at fixed rates, which can make the EMIs constant throughout the tenor. This can be achieved through securitization of home loans pools. Different pools of housing loans of an originator can be securitized in different tranches. I think the objectives have been mentioned by Chairman NHB, but let me also mention again. This will be another source of funds by tapping the capital markets. As the cash flows of liabilities match the underlying assets, there is no mismatch in cash flows for the originator. This can be long-term risk source at a fixed rate, thus reducing the uncertainties of liability pricing. To the investors, long-term investors like the pension funds, provident funds, and insurance companies, they can also participate in this market. The first risk is borne by the originator. Thus, to that extent, investors are insulated from the credit risk. As the investors take a risk on the pool of underlying loans and not on the originator, to that extent, there is a bankruptcy remoteness on the originator. The collection and service of monthly payments are ensured by the trust. And to the final borrower, as the cost of funds is expected to come down for the originator, it will be eventually passed on to the end customer. Another major benefit will be to get long-term housing loans at a fixed rate. Therefore, EMIs are fixed for the entire tenure of the loan. Once PTCs are made available to retail investor, investment in this instrument can be another option where we can get monthly inflows. I once again extend my best wishes to RDCL and NHB in their endeavor to develop the RMBS market. I also congratulate all other stakeholders for framing the PTCs in a timely manner. I also hope that the other institutions, the mortgage industry, will participate in this securitization market in the years to come. I thank once again NSC and NHB for hosting the event and NSC for listing ceremony. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for the inspiring words. We also like to acknowledge the presence today of MD and CEOs of banks, housing finance companies, insurance companies, pension funds, rating agencies, and small finance banks. We also have with us board members of NHB and board members of RMBS Development Company Limited, along with shareholders of RMBS Development Company Limited. Now I would like to invite Shri Ashish Kumar Chauhan, MD and CEO of National Stock Exchange, to address us. Please welcome him with a round of applause.
Shri M. Nagaraju, IAS, Secretary, Department of Financial Services, Ministry of Finance. Shri Pankaj Sharma, Joint Secretary, Department of Financial Services. Shri V. Sridhar, Ex-Chairman, National Housing Bank. Shri Sanjay Shukla, MD, National Housing Bank. Shri Pradeep Kumar Malhotra, MD and CEO, IDBI Trustee Services. MD and CEO of various financial institutions. Shri Satish Marathe from RBI, board members, distinguished guests, employees, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning and a warm welcome to all of you for the listing ceremony of first residential mortgage-backed securitization structured by RMBS Development Company Limited. At first, I would like to congratulate RMBS Development Company and its promoters, National Housing Bank, for successful execution of the first residential mortgage-backed securitized transaction today. The overall debt securitization market and RMBS segment in particular is in its nascent stage in India compared to the global markets. Listing of such securitized debt instruments would build a higher degree of transparency and contribute to an evolving ecosystem. The RMBS transaction involved pulling of receivables from housing loans and issued in the form of pass-through certificates by way of private placement. The issue size of 1,000 crore Indian rupees was originated by LIC Housing Finance, structured by RMBS Development, and issued by India Residential Mortgage Trust 2025-01, a special purpose distinct entity set up in the form of a trust and settled by IDBI. Trusteeship Services Limited. In a first of its kind, the book building for the securitization transaction happened in a transparent manner through the NSE's electronic bidding platform EBP. I thank our regulator SEBI for enabling the use of NSE EBP platform for this innovative securitized debt instrument. India is the 5th largest economy and the 4th largest capital market in the world in terms of market capitalization. India has become a global leader in capital raising. Total fund mobilization in financial year 25 at NSE was rupees 18.7 lakh crore or US dollar 221 billion, of which fund mobilization through debt instruments including commercial paper was 14.2 lakh crore or US dollars 168 billion dollars, contributing significantly to the overall fund mobilization in India. In 30 years, NSE has had a remarkable journey of enabling a fair, efficient, and transparent capital market ecosystem and being a catalyst to the growth story of India through economic growth, capital formation, wealth creation, and job creation. NSE now services over 11.3 crore unique investors with over 22 crore accounts, reaching 99.9% of all PIN codes in the country, barring just 28 PIN codes, with over 1/5 of all households investing in stock markets directly today. I congratulate the entire team involved in this securitization transaction, LIC Housing Finance as originator, structure advisor as RMBS Development Company, trustees IDBI Trusteeship Services, credit rating agencies CRISIL and CARE, legal advisors Vadia Gandhi and Company, PR agency at Factors, and overall NHB for all their efforts and everyone else associated with in this transaction for these accomplishments. We at NSE are committed to facilitate fundraising opportunities and making capital markets more accessible for organizations to chart their growth stories. We hope that today's successful listing will inspire many more housing finance companies to look at the securitization market as a promising avenue to liquidate their assets. This listing day is the start of a strong partnership between us. NSE looks forward to supporting RMBS development in their future securitization transactions as well. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for the wonderful remarks. Our next event will be the presentation of mementos, NSE mementos as a memoir on this occasion. Shri Ashish Kumar Chauhanji will be presenting the mementos. I will now request Shri M. Nagaraju, Secretary, to please come on stage to receive his NSE mementos. The first memento is NSE Bull in the family. Second is the NSE Bell. Next is the NSE. Yeah. Next is the NSE coffee table book. Yeah. Then we have the NSE bull frame as well as the photograph taken today. Thank you, sir. Now I'll invite Shri V. Sridhar, Chairman of RDCL. NSE Bell. Next is the NSE Coffee Table Book and NSE Bull Frame. Next, I would like to invite Shri Sanjay Shukla, Managing Director, National Housing Bank. The NSE Bell. Next is the NSE Coffee Table Book and NSE Bull Frame. Next, I would like to invite Shri Pankaj Sharma, Joint Secretary. The NSE Bell. The NSE Coffee Table Book and NSE Bull Frame. Now I will request Ashish ji and Sanjay sir to give us the small NSE Bell mementos to other stakeholders involved in the transaction. I will now invite the MD of LIC Housing Finance, Tribhuvan Adhikari ji, to join us on stage. Next, I would like to invite MD and CEO of IDBI Trusteeship Company Limited or any representative from ITCL. Shri P.K. Malhotra, MD and CEO of IDBI Trusteeship Services Limited. We would also like to invite on stage representatives from the rating agencies CARE. Any representative from CARE? Representative from CRISIL. Next is representative from Wadia and Gandhi. Next, we will have the presentation of mementos from RDCL and NHB to the dignitaries. So first, I would like to invite Shri M. Nagaraju. Yeah. The Ring the Bell ceremony at the exchange is a symbol of NSE's commitment to fostering a culture of responsible investing and financial literacy. It signifies the role of NSE in facilitating access to capital markets and India's economic growth. So this is the moment we all have been waiting eagerly for. I will now request other dignitaries also to join us on stage. Shri V. So ladies and gentlemen, I request you all to put your hands together and cheer when the countdown starts from 10 seconds. Yes. 9, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Heartiest congratulations once again to RMBS Development Company Limited and National Housing Bank for the listing of the first RMBS security. This is the beginning of many more such transactions, with the overall aim being the desire to achieve housing for all. Now I would like to invite Shri S.K. Padi, the founder director of RMBS Development Company Limited, to propose the vote of thanks. Welcome, sir.
Good morning, respected Secretary, DFS, Ministry of Finance, Sri Nagaraj sir, MD NHB, Sri Sanjay Shukla sir, officials from DFS, various regulators and other financial institutions. I wish to thank Secretary sir for continuously inspiring us in this endeavor. Your speech was very inspiring, and we assure you, sir, we will be carrying out more such transactions in the future. I also thank our MD for the contribution whose untiring efforts resulted in today's successful listing. I also thank the Chairman of the Board RDCL, Sri V. Sridhar sir, for his constant support, guidance and encouragement. I also thank promoters of RDCL for their contributions. Many thanks to SEBI and NSE for facilitating of the first RMBS transaction. We are also thankful to the MDs and CEOs of banks and financial institutions for attending this ceremony. Finally, a big thanks to the staff of RDCL and NHB for making this event a great success. Thank you very much, and namaskar.
Now I request all the guests to join us for high tea and refreshments, which is on our right side. And I will request all the promoters, shareholders of RDCL to take their group photograph here on the stage with the bell, NSE bell. Thank you. Thank you once again to all of you for joining us today.